Hey folks, Cool18 here, and welcome to another episode of this Let's Play of the Path of Exile closed beta for Awakening. Again, I'm just, don't know how entertaining these videos will necessarily be, but I'm playing the game, and I can't not record something that I play. I mean, that would be a sin, right? So here we are. Speaking of sin, we are in the Chambers of Sin, or Chamber of Sin, singular. That is not triple linked. We're just going to try to clear it. There is technically a quest in here. Sort of I don't actually have it in my journal, but it doesn't matter. Just like other Diablo-like games, such as this, you can basically do things in whatever order you feel like. Basically, you find a new area, kill everything in it, and quests will sort of happen. It's not a, it's not a sophisticated game, although, the character creation process is quite involved. It's way more complicated than something like Diablo, and yet not hard to understand, which is, I think, the appeal. And there we go, we got the waypoint right away. Excellent. That's the other thing, when you get in these dungeons here, like, you'll see a little dot, and it'll be like, okay, so you know that there's a waypoint somewhere in the Chamber of Sins, but on what level? I happen to know it was level 2, which meant I didn't spend any extra time on level 1 hunting for it. But it's a little, a little confuzzling. But again, I guess that's what wikis are for. And some people don't want to spoil themselves. They want that sense of exploration. There you go. Certainly, I think there was a lot more of that when I first started playing. It was like, I don't want to read about things. I want to try to figure things out. One of the things I always hate is if I go and research, what are the best builds in these kinds of games? How to make the most kick-ass character? If I do that, then it means I can never, ever, ever sort of just experiment on my own because I feel like, well, I'm doing something unoptimal. No. So I try to avoid too much of that. Sometimes I look up a few for some ideas, like, okay, what's the sort of consensus with how you might navigate the lower levels of the skill tree for a witch, for example? What do people like to pick? And then it's like, okay, well, why might they want to do that? And what skills does that work best with? Here, most of what I've grabbed so far is pretty bog standard, I think. But you could go with a much more defensive witch. I haven't committed to the idea yet if I'm going to be, like, full energy shield or not. Well, obviously, I'm not going to go with that high energy shield now that I think about it, because if you go full-on energy shield build, which is cool, you might want to grab something like Chaos Inoculation, because there's a type of damage in here called Chaos Damage, which I think poisons are basically Chaos Damage. There's some other things, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the options. This guy resists elemental damage, but that's fine. And so your energy shield, which can be cool in a lot of ways, does not protect you from chaos damage. So you're very vulnerable to that because it can just, bypass your shield and kill you very quickly. So you can grab a talent in the tree. It is not there. Not there. Huh? Ah, it's here. Ah, well, there's stuff that comes after it. Right here, which makes you immune to chaos damage, but note that it sets your maximum life to 1. Which is weird and awesome. But so far I've already grabbed a few like bonus life nodes, and that will probably continue to be the case. So I don't think it's going to be an energy shield oriented character. I'll still accept it. I don't think I'm going to be having, well, right now I don't think I have any talents. Oh, hello Piety. How's it going?
Around the barrier at Prisoner's Gate. Such talent. Make your way to SINNIN, Exile.
Yeah, I'm very talented. The only thing I've gotten so far are things that give me more percentage health. So there are nodes out there. I don't think like right in the proximity of the witch, but not that far away, that I think might do like, they both do bonus energy shield and bonus armor. Whoa! That is pretty rough. Also, I think I was blinded while I was in there. Spy's grip. What the hell does that mean? I'm sure I haven't seen that sort of stuff before, that blue trait. In the last video, we fought a necromancer or something that had something in there, like necromancer's grip. Oh my god, you resist elemental damage, which is bad news bears. We'll let our energy shield recharge. That is one of the things you can do with the energy shield. Now, there's no potion for energy shield as far as I know. Whew. Iron mask. It's quality, we can sell it. We'll leave the rest. Leave the gun, take the cannolis. Hello, Helena. How's it going? Get the baleful gem. Let's just finish this off over here. And pick that up. We're going to need the baleful gem for something later on. Boop. There we go. Again, if I'd done the quest sort of more in a logical order, then... oh yeah, there's nothing over here. Yeah, I can just leave now. Then there would have been like an explanation for why I was coming in here in the first place, but you'll just have to play on your own if you want the story.
The
Yes, I will take a new reward. Herald of Thunder. Okay, this is what I've been excited for. So this is going to be what I'm going to do. So Herald of Thunder is interesting. It's something you you turn on. It's a personal. Well, it's not an aura because it doesn't actually like affect anyone else. But it's, I don't know. It's a constant spell. It's ongoing, I suppose. You turn it on, and as long as it's running, it just eats 30% of your mana. Doesn't matter how big my mana pool is, 30% of it will always be dedicated to running the Herald of Thunder. But when I kill an enemy that is shocked, it will spam out lightning bolts around me for the next 6 seconds, which is pretty good. Pretty cool. Also, I believe whenever this is running, as long as this is on, it always adds extra lightning damage to my spells and also attacks. It's actually feasible to not play a lightning-based spellcaster and still use something like Herald of Thunder. There's also another one, Herald of Ice, and I think there's a Herald of Fire that is red. So Herald of Ice does it when you kill something that's frozen, right? If you shatter an enemy, yeah. So if something is frozen and you kill it, it will shatter them, if I recall correctly. So then it'll also do some things there. That damage can't be reflected either, which is nice. So anyway, so my idea here is to go with a build that makes sure to lay down shock on people, which will trigger Herald of Thunder, which is fun. So there's 2 ways for shock to trigger. So I just need, do I have a blue socket anywhere? I don't have a spare one. We'll have to do something about that. 2 ways for shock to be applied to an enemy. One is if I crit with a lightning spell, it'll do that. Right now my crit chance with lightning tendrils is 10%, and I think that applies to every tick of the spell. So very frequently, lightning tendrils will have crit at least once. And it doesn't hit for a lot of damage, but it is, it's still, as long as it crits, it'll shock, in which case the enemies take 50% more damage, and then when they die, it'll trigger my Herald of Thunder, which I like. And the other thing that you can get is there are talents in here. Talents or passive skills, I suppose I should say. Right over here. So you can see here 5% chance to shock, 5% chance to shock. There's a few more somewhere else in the tree too. We can go and hunt down. 10% chance to shock. There we go. And increased shock duration, which may or may not be relevant, but we can pile that on. So at some point we'll have to make a decision if we're just going to focus on getting lots of crits and shocking people that way, or just getting the automatic shock chance and figuring that out. Let's go ahead and identify this. Oh, we've got a rare wand. It's only got 2 sockets, unfortunately, instead of the 3, which is kind of annoying. Fire gems does have the higher critical chance, but I don't care about its actual physical damage. You can see, like this wand here, if I just pew pew with the wand, this one will do more. Regen's better. It does have the fire resist, but I'd be losing 3% of my spell damage. The critical strike chance does, I think, affect my spells, though. That bow is probably worth keeping in case I decide to make an archer. And the reason for that, I guess I don't have a tab for it yet. Weapons under 30. We'll make it blue. Light blue. There we are. We'll put that bow in there because it's got 56% increased physical damage, plus some more flat physical damage, which is nice. So we'll do that. It's not a bad start. Keep you aside for now. Minion gems. I do at some point want to play a minion summoner, but it's not going to be in this particular league, so I don't have to keep that. That is just a quality item. Sorry, it's going to take me a while to process some of this, especially as I talk it out. Good evasion and things on here. Although I need the blue sockets right now, which my thing currently has, so we'll go and sell that as well. Yeah, just the shortage of blue sockets is sort of what's killing me right now. I've got actually way too many spells on here that I don't really use. I can actually free up some space, so let me consider that a little bit longer here. Quality weapons can go in there. That's a quality armor. Quality armor. That is... Oh, that's a rainbow item that I want to sell for a chromatic. I can probably sell... You know what? I'll keep the other flask around. In case I do make a different character. He might want that. He or she. Stormcall I don't plan on using. Oh, hang on. It's blue. Oh, it's because I'm not hitting the check mark either. Blue. Green. There we are. Oh. And I'm putting things in the wrong place as well. Blue goes in there. We definitely want to use this. Okay, let's sell this stuff. Keep this wand around for a little while. Oh, there might be a quest reward or something. Someone wants to talk to me anyway. Got to keep the Baleful Gem around for some quest development. Let's do this. Let's go talk to everyone over here. I think it's just mostly flavor text with no rewards. Yeah, and some extra backstory for some quests, and also some new quests have been introduced. Okay. So, Lightning Warp, I feel like I do need to keep a Lightning Warp around as a teleport. I can live without the Cold Snap. I haven't used Fireball in forever. Obviously, I'm a little bit concerned about people resisting my elements. Lightning Tendrils, added lightning damage, increased critical strike. These are all linked together on my main attack. So that I gotta keep. It does free up a couple of blue slots. Okay, so I can have the Herald of Thunder, and then I can live without the Cold Snap. I'll keep the Fireball around as a secondary attack at that point. Okay, I'm happy with that. Cold Snap is cool though, and you can make builds. So I'll probably just sell this.
Hello.
I mean, I suppose what I could do is if I had another 3 sockets somewhere else, I could move this combo. It doesn't have to be on my wand. I can move it to some other piece of gear, and then here I could have my fire gem in here because of the increased fire gem thing. But no, we'll be okay. If this were the standard league, then I might keep it around. But this is a closed beta; it's not going to be around forever, so it's fine. All right, good. Let's go back to the waypoint, so we can continue that way. I'm actually going to go, since I'm back here anyway. I'm going to go in the other direction, just because we'll do the lower level areas first. We get sort of maximum XP from them. Plus, that way we'll also level up a bit more before we hit some of the higher level stuff, which is going to be fine. I should really move this to an SSD. All right. So, are we going to move this? Fireball goes there. Lightning Warp goes there. And we can put the... it doesn't actually matter where it is. We're going to put the Herald of Thunder here, and we're going to cast Herald of Thunder. You can see it eats 30% of my mana. I can't do anything about it. And it does add a little bit of extra damage. I suppose I could toggle it off here. So right now my Lightning Tendrils have 121 DPS, and with it on it's 133, because it adds 1 to 8 lightning damage. That's at level 1. That gem will level up as well. But more importantly, every time I kill a shocked enemy, which requires some crits. Don't I have a 10% crit chance? I'm zapping people more than that, especially with AoEs. Anyway, when it does happen, you'll see lightning strikes from the sky, the ceiling. The ceiling of the world. Same thing, right? Seriously? I don't understand. Crit chance. Yeah. 10% crit chance. And when they crit, they should get shocked. Maybe it's not per individual zap. Maybe it rolls the crit chance once. Because, like, it says, it describes it oddly. Actually, lightning is released from your hands 4 times in quick succession. 1, 2... Yeah, it does do the damage 4 times. Maybe it only counts as 1 cast? I don't know. I don't know how that gets calculated. A magic Quicksilver Flask. Oh, I actually already have... Sorry about the text message here. I already have a magic Quicksilver Flask. No, I want to keep mine, because mine is more movement. And the whole reason to use a Quicksilver Flask is to move your buns. Like that. Like, wait for these guys to group up a little bit more and kill them. There we go! We're getting lightning strikes from the sky! Finally! Finally it triggered. Okay, good. It might have triggered before and I just hadn't noticed. That's possible. That sounds like me. But I think it's not going quite as much. I think it'll be quite different if I do decide to really stack up on the crit. Now, I mean, the advantage to stacking on crit instead of shock chance is that, of course, crits also do more damage. And I have a feeling when you progress through your skill tree, there's sort of a lot of things that you want to grab as your basic, right? It's like, okay, these are my must-have for my builds. And then once you get high enough level, then you sort of like, you've fleshed out your core build. And then you get the opportunity to pick up anything at that point that keeps adding damage, right? Because eventually your gems will sort of max out at top level. You'll run out of... do I want to go that way? I guess so. You'll run out of... you know, you'll cap out your percentage extra elemental damage on your wands, and so on and so forth. And so a really good way to continuously increase the amount of damage you put out is by finding more critical damage nodes. I mean, assuming you've picked up all the things that do increased spell damage, increased elemental stuff. But when you run out of those, then yeah, it's going to be, here, can I keep increasing my crit? And yeah, I want to grab this. If nothing else, all the intelligence is good, and it's all pretty good. We can always undo it later with some orbs of regret and whatnot, but... So anyway, I think probably focusing on crit is good, since the shock chance, yeah, it does add damage in that people who are shocked have a higher percentage damage, but I think I'd rather just crit them, get that to apply shock, and then continuously crit them for extra damage, which is probably smarter. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm getting a 10% crit chance. There's probably, I'm betting the calculation, maybe it's different for an AoE? I don't know. I have no idea. Definitely feels a bit off. Whoops. I alt-tabbed. Actually, I didn't alt-tab, I shift-tabbed, which brought up the Steam overlay. Almost as bad. I just realized their water shader's a little bit odd. It looks fine a little far, but if you stare right at the shore as you move around, it's a bit weird. Now I can't unsee it. Oh my god. It's driving me crazy. We can't get through the tree roots yet. We do have, I think the Baleful Gem is one of the items you need to be able to get through this, ultimately. But we need something else, which will come later. But I think there's more in here. I might be wrong. Oh, there are bandits in here. Okay, so I can at least do the bandit stuff at this point, so that's good. So bandit stuff is one of the things I find very interesting in this game. There we go, our lightning went off again. Is, so in Act 2, there are 3 bandit groups. And you're charged with going out and killing them all, because bandits are bad, right? And if you kill them all, I think your reward for that quest, it's not necessarily obvious, I think the reward for that quest is you get an extra skill point, which is obviously really, really, really good. But what's funny is every bandit offers you an additional reward, a different reward, if instead of killing like all 3 groups of bandits, you just kill the other 2 groups of bandits and then make a deal with the final guy, the final person. And they will give you a reward, which is different than what you would get if you just finished everything off. And so there's a lot of like, all right, depending on my build, which bandit do I side with? As it happens, is just the way it works out, most of the time, for most builds, people are like, just go with Oak. In all 3 difficulties. And every difficulty, every act, or not act, every difficulty, the rewards are different. I think completing all 3 always gives you a respec point. I might be wrong. I might be lying to you here. It's been a while since I've done that. But, so I think that's always the same. But the reward you get from working with individual bandits changes. I should look it up. Hold on. Path bandit rewards. That way I can stop talking about it in sort of a abstract sense here. Yes, okay. Killing them all in all 3 difficulties gives you a skill point. The reason Oak, especially on the first level, like on the normal difficulty, people are like, go for Oak, is because he gives you plus 40 health. Now that's base health, which means every node you ever grab that gives you plus 5% health will, you know, add on top of that. So you're getting more and more value out of it. And health is, no matter what you're doing, more health equals more survival. I am not wrong. Is there? Did I misread the thing? I think some bandits are on this map. Yeah, Oak is in the wetlands. So actually, if I'm planning on going with him, I really don't have to be here now, because all I'd be doing is talking to him and then not killing him. So, okay, let's blow this pop stand. More life is always good, but I got resistances. Now I'll just keep what I'm doing. So to compare, on normal difficulty, the other bandits will give you, one can give you plus 8% to all elemental resistances, which is good, but ultimately you'll probably be able to cap out your elemental resistances, which is why Creighton is not usually recommended, because ultimately you will cap out your resistances, in which case that extra 8%, sure, it makes it easier to cap out, but, you know, might get wasted. And then with Allura, it's plus 40% more mana, which, you know, you can use flasks, you can use blood magic, you can use support gems that reduce mana cost, you can get things that increase your mana and your mana regen rate in other ways. There might be some weird builds somewhere for whatever reason that would want more mana, but that would be pretty unpopular. Then on Cruel, it gets interesting. with Oak, you get plus 18% physical damage, which is why if you're playing any physical character whatsoever, you also go with Oak on the second difficulty, on Cruel. Now, things may have changed in Awakenings, by the way. Some of the numbers may modify, so pay careful attention if you do get there in the expansion. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out a little bit together. So 18% extra physical damage is just too much to ignore. If you're playing anything physical, a bow person, a smashy person, anything that relies on the physical damage stat, you're going to have to go in that direction. But me as a spellcaster, I don't care about that. In fact, there's Creighton gives 8% attack speed, which is also pretty good, but if you're doing something with attacks, generally speaking, you'll probably prefer the physical damage. Maybe not all the time, but probably most of the time. But Alira gives an interesting one on Cruel, which is 4% extra cast speed. So then I'll have to make a decision, basically on Cruel difficulty, between having an extra passive skill point or having 4% cast speed. Now, one thing you can do is you can look and say, well, one skill point, how much cast speed can it give me? Well, here we're getting 3% increased cast speed. So 4% is higher than 3%. There might be some nodes somewhere in the tree that give you more than 4% cast speed. But, you know, you can't, you know, eventually, if you're going with some sort of cast speed build, you might run out of cast speed nodes. And so that's pretty good. I'd probably personally end up going with the passive skill point on level 2. Or on difficulty 2, on Cruel. And on a Merciless difficulty, the options are +1 max Frenzy Charge, +1 max Power Charge, or +1 max Endurance Charge. Which, honestly, I still haven't really done a character that really uses any of those charges in any real way. I think one of the more popular ones is Oak for the Endurance Charge. Again, maybe only in certain builds. I think you need certain types of abilities to give you Endurance Charges. But while you have Endurance Charges going around your character, you take, I think, just less damage from everything. Might be wrong. Again, that's A, a little bit more late gamey, and B, confined to certain types of build. For me, I'd be tempted potentially to get the Power Charge. I think the more Power Charges you have, the more damage your spells do. But again, it might be, I might just end up taking the passive skill point at that point. But, in any case, this is a difficulty 1, this is normal difficulty. I'm going to be siding with Oak to get the 40% health forever. Because health is awesome! Can't do damage if you're dead. It's like, yes, it's true, the faster you kill things, the less damage you'll take, but it's really important to get yourself out of burst damage range. Mostly for fighting bosses and certain types of uniques and rares and things like that. Which can have some pretty nasty combos that just exterminate you before you can put in any damage. So mostly we're just killing here for some experience points. Oh, Plummeting Ursa. Oh my god, they're drop bears. Okay, these are new in Awakenings. They added drop bears to the game. You don't know what drop bears are. Drop bears are a horrible carnivorous creature native to Australia that will drop out of trees, pounce onto the back of your head, and kill you. The best defense for this is to make sure to rub some Vegemite behind your neck. That helps to ward them away. Of course, this is all a joke. Much like hunting the wild haggis of Scotland. They even look like little koalas. Look at that shit. They look like crazy little koala bears. Okay. Yeah, it's koala bears. But there's this whole myth. If you Google drop bears, you'll find the story. All right, Lore Master, what do you want me to do? Defend or destroy? Defend the relic. Will do. These are generally not too hard, although I always thought they were always defend, and I didn't realize that like half the time the quest is actually for you to destroy the thingy in the middle. So I would sit there defending it, and then fail and be like, what happened? Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I should have been able to tell because when you have to attack it, the health bar of the thing is red, and you can damage it with AoEs. So I was like having to be careful, like to not accidentally damage this thing I'm supposed to be defending, when in fact you can't damage the friendly thing. Yay, level 20. Oh, there's someone. There we go. Like, why is it not ending? I didn't realize there was still someone kicking around. We'll shove the faith back into this land yet. Yeah, whether it wants to or not. Okay. So we leveled up. 20. So let's take out Deep Thought. Intelligence is not critical. Like, strength is amazing because you get more life for every point, well, every 2 points of strength, and also more melee physical damage. Dexterity gives you accuracy and evasion, which is pretty good. Intelligence just gives you more mana. Yeah, it also gives you more percentage energy shield, which I guess incentivizes a high intelligence character to stack energy shield items because you'll have more of it. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go Chaos Inoculation. I'll probably still keep grabbing life stuff in general. But we may, in fact, prioritize gearing stuff with Energy Shield, and may start grabbing nodes that give us more percentage Energy Shield as well. We'll see. I don't know. If I do decide to go full on Energy Shield later on, I can always respec out of, so that's 2 9% items. I always say I pick up 10% or higher. Well, that's 2 9% I pick up in a row. I may go ahead and respec out of the plus life nodes, but that'll have to wait until later. Ooh, okay, this is great. This is something that was added in the last expansion that I never really played until recently. Just like those strong boxes that go kicking around, they've got these like randomly generated dungeons over here that have traits. So this one here will have patches of chilled ground and give you 11% more items. And we'll have, I believe, it's corrupted, so it'll have a Vaal gem in the end. I really hope I can get a Vaal arc. On this server, on this beta server, right before a reset, I was playing a character very similar to this one, and I got the Vaal arc spell, and it was amazing. Okay, that fucking hurts. Holy crap. Okay. Wow. I think there's a shrine over there. Yeah, I can pick up the shrine and get the bonus, but I have to get there carefully first. Forgot these areas are quite a bit more dangerous, and I'm still pretty squishy because, again, I don't have an established stash, so my gearing is pretty hodgepodge. Okay, let's pick up the shrine. Come on, there we go. Now the shrine works for me, and it's zapping everything around. Now, while we've got that going on, let's go and find the end of this dungeon here. Oh, I gotta pick that up. It's slowing me down. So I can kill the nasty creature at the end of it while I've got this buff. I'm still being slowed all the time. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to reach it. Oh, I do have my, this is a lightning effect. It might be shocking people, which is keeping my little lightning thing going on, which is nice. One thing I'll have to remember if I'm fighting a boss with no real ads around, oh, that's nice, high quality, is I want to turn on, oh, I'm full, is I want to turn off my, what's it called, Herald of Thunder, because I won't be killing things, so it won't proc. It does give me extra DPS, though, now that I think about it. I forgot about that, because it passively, oh, there we go, there's the boss. It's passively adding, where'd you go? Some extra lightning damage to all my spells and attacks. But I was going to say, it might be worth, like, unrestricting the 30% mana pool. Vaal Spark continuously launches unpredictable sparks in all directions that move randomly until they hit an enemy or expire. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll keep that aside. So, these Vaal gems are skills. Like Spark, I'm pretty sure Spark is a spell. Arc, the one I was talking about before, is a spell. Let's hop to town and then empty our inventory and come back. But the Vaal versions are like much more powerful. However, when you equip them, you can't just cast them. They all have a soul requirement. You can see here, this one here needs 48 souls to get used and can store 1 use. So it's got a soul capacity of 48. So I have to kill 48 creatures in a single zone. Right? If I switch to another zone, it resets it down to 0. Although you can go back and forth. Anyway, 48 creatures in single zone before I can use this once. But the effect is presumably quite potent.
What?
Identify some stuff. We're not going to keep that. I guess we'll keep the quality items. We're not going to keep that one, especially with the gem situation. We'll go ahead and keep that. We're going to sell that one off. Quality weapon. Quality armor. Good. Dump some of that. I'm not going to equip this right now, just because I don't really have the slots to spare, so I'm just going to bank it. But yeah, these Vaal items are quite cool. I like the way they work. I mean, they're potent. They're interesting. I don't need any of that. There might be some more stuff. Yeah, there's always a little Vaal letter in here as well. Yada, yada, yada. May as well kill the rest. They still drop, what, 11% more items? Something like that. It's not the, yeah. It's not the strongest of all rolls. 11% isn't much extra. It's interesting. Some people, depending on what you're looking for, some people want like higher quantity of items, and some people want higher quality of items. Higher quantity is good if you're, you know, will help you get a lot more currency items, which is nice because they don't really have a quality to roll. You just want more drops in total, which gives you a higher chance of getting currency. And then the other way with a higher quality, or higher rarity rather, I should say. I suppose there's also higher quantity, but higher rarity is what I meant. That increases your chance of getting rares or uniques and so on and so forth. It's nice when you get the two together because you get more items and higher chance of being good ones. I'm not going to kill single dudes. I kill in groups. Come on. Here's Alira's guards. Oh, some of these guys explode. That's right. The purple ones are self-destructing, which is vaguely annoying. Banelings. You gotta kill them fast enough because they can do a fair amount of damage. Again, this is Act 1, so it's not too terribly bad. And I do have some fire resistance. Am I still at like a third fire resistance? No, 52%. Oh, that's really helpful. Now I'm going to have to fight Alira and the rest of her goons in here. So I'm going to walk in. She's going to offer the deal. Where are you? Right over here. Hello. Resist elemental damage and chaos. It's kind of annoying.
You have a powerful aura.
Yeah. I'm going to kill you. Permanently ramp. Oh, plus 60. Oh, they buffed it. So the wiki says plus 40. So they buffed this deal to make it more appealing, but it's still not appealing enough. Kill Alira. So it'll be really interesting to see if they've changed Oak. They might have nerfed Oak. Or, I'm hoping rather than nerf Oak. Because Oak is like super popular, especially level 1. Almost everyone picks Oak on the normal difficulty. Some people go for the extra skill point. I guess if you're going with a Chaos Inoculation build, then you go for the skill point instead, because you don't care about health, because your health gets reset to 1 anyway. But it'll be interesting to see if they've nerfed Oak or they've just buffed everything else. Die. She is shocked, so she's taking bonus damage. There we are. Or she's not shocked, because otherwise the lightning would be going off. Ooh, 17%. Actually, you've got... Oh, it's 2 blues. I'm actually really lucky that this early on in the game I've gotten a 3-slot wand that just happened to be 3 blues and linked. I mean, you could craft your own, which isn't bad. Oh, there's the exit there. But actually, I'm going to go ahead and, I think, just teleport back to town at this point. Oh, I don't think I found the waypoint on this map. Never mind. I have to play at least that long. But I'm going to put a cut in here anyway. But yeah, it's nice that I got it there. I didn't have to craft. Because usually it's not worth crafting items this early because you do replace them quite frequently. Although, having that many blues is good. Having them linked is good so we can buff things. Very, very handy. Let's go ahead and bring that. Yeah, it's nice when the lightning storm goes off. Holy crap. That is really handy. I think the purple ones explode. I might be wrong. Might be thinking of something else. Anyway. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go and find the waypoint and then call it a day myself. I got some other things I need to take care of. I can't play Path of Exile all day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.